The Eradicator Mark IV was always an interesting boss to me, so I made this theory to exactly piece together his story. This theory may be all over the place and not make sense at sometimes, but remember guys, it's just a theory. I could be wrong. Now before we talk about the Eradicator Mark IV, let's first talk about the Wretched. Now let's assume that the Wretched was an experiment done by Dr. Xenon. Basically, let's assume that he was an actual person that died and was revived by Dr. Xenon and turned into the Wretched. Now, I believe that the GDA did not know of this. Now let's say that sometime after this, the Wretched escaped and was not to be seen until the Halloween event. Now let's assume after Dr. Xenon left the GDA, it was too late for her to collect Eradicator Mark IV. Now you may be asking in confusion, Mr. V, how does this make any sense? We fight Eradicator Mark IV in Endless. Well, don't worry, because I have the answer to your question. So you know how Dr. Xenon created all the Eradicators? Well, she could have had blueprints to make a second version of them, which is the exact same thing she did with Eradicator Mark II in the Expert rework trailer, as he's seen multiple times being destroyed. After Dr. Xenon left, the GDA kept the leftover Eradicator Mark IV, while Dr. Xenon was creating another one for Endless mode. Now, let's just assume that Dr. Xenon created more Eradicator Mark IVs, and let's just say they had a communicator built inside them to communicate with other Eradicators, which would make sense given by how they all kind of speak together in the Eradicator Mark IV OST. Now let's say that the GDA's Eradicator Mark IV that they were holding on to had one of this communicator, which would make sense how all the Eradicators were kind of speaking to each other. And this will be important later on in the video. Now let's talk about the Eradicator Mark IV Dr. Xenon created for Endless mode. Now I'm just gonna say this right now. He's a lot different from all the Eradicator Mark IVs. Now let me explain. Now we all know that the Eradicators basically have some sort of host in them, basically a zombie controlling them. Now I'm just gonna say this right now. I think the Eradicator Mark IV has an actual person in it, specifically the one we fight in Endless mode. Now maybe this person was actually supposed to be a zombie, but the infection didn't get him all the way, and he was half zombie and half human, controlling the Eradicator Mark IV. I mainly say this because the Eradicator Mark IV OST, he literally says, save me, in the OST. He's most likely pleading for someone to save him because of how much immense pain he feels with the GDA's forces literally penetrating his armor. It's most likely that when he's in his desperate rush, he's trying to stop the pain. But eventually, it's not enough and he is destroyed, killing the Eradicator Mark IV Dr. Xenon created. Now you may be wondering, if this is an actual person in the Eradicator, then why is it using its abilities? Well, I think there is a control panel where the zombies that are in the Eradicator can control the abilities they want to use, like the artillery thing the Eradicator Mark IV uses to destroy warships. It's most likely that the person that was inside this Eradicator Mark IV tried to get himself out of there and started spam pressing all the buttons, which activated the abilities. Now by this time period, the Halloween event is already going on. So I'm just gonna make a theory on how the Wretched spawn came back and how there's a wreckage of the Eradicator Mark IV on the GDA base. Now let's just assume that the Wretched heard about the GDA storing void crystals, and he wanted to get his hands on them to basically awaken his army. Now it's most likely that the Wretched raided the GDA base, and the Mark IV that the GDA kept was trying to fend him off and defend the GDA from the GDA base, basically. And this is where this part of the song from the Mark IV OST starts to become relevant. I believe that this part of the OST is when the Eradicator Mark IVs start communicating with each other with the communication devices. I also believe that in this part of the OST, they are this part is not included in the endless mode. So this part of the OST is basically not part of endless mode. So it's not related to the Mark IV in endless mode in any way. In this part of the OST, they all could be shouting out commands that their commander gave to them. Like how Xenon is commanding them to destroy the GDA, while the GDA is commanding the Mark IV they have to destroy the Wretched. Eventually, the Eradicator Mark IV was able to rip the Wretched spawn in half, but then was later killed by him and was left there in the GDA base. And the Wretched got the Void Crystals he wanted to arise his awakened army, and was basically repaired by the engineer. And that's the lore of the Eradicator Mark IV. And it's just remember guys, it's just a theory. Yeah, TDX theory. Just a theory. Theory of TDX.